Hey y'all, coming at you with a Crooked Stave IPA. Well, they call it a double IPA. It's 7.5%. It is called Do You Even Zest? And it uses some citrus zest in it. And I guess they call it an experimental hazy IPA. And they've only done it a few times before, but I've never had it before. They just shipped the first non-sour wild beer from Crooked Stave to Boston, and I'm assuming this one is pretty fresh. The other beers we got in this shipment were less than a month old. This doesn't have anything written on the bottom, but I'm assuming it's about the same date as the other ones, so it's pretty fresh. And yeah, a lot of IPAs that have zest in them, it kind of turns me off sometimes because it can be really strong, and I feel like not necessarily, it can kind of distract from the fruitiness of the hops in a way. It doesn't always work together, in my opinion, but I'm a big fan of Crooked Stave, so maybe they can do it pretty well. And they don't tell me what hops. I looked around on the internet and I couldn't figure out what hops are in this one either. If I figure it out, maybe I'll write it down in the comments. But that is a nice, perfect haze. Head looks good. Not quite opaque, but very creamy looking. Ooh, that's nice. And very creamsicle-y. Yeah, they don't call this a milkshake IPA or anything, but there are a lot of those creamsicle IPAs out there that do use zest, but along with milk sugar and vanilla. This one, that's really nice. It seems like just the hops they're using, probably Citra, and their yeast is bringing out like a really ripe, tropical, almost creamy vanilla-y quality that's blending with the citrus zest to really make it smell really creamsicle-y. And I love that because I like a lot of these milkshake IPAs in theory and how they smell, but oftentimes the mouthfeel and things are all weird. That smells nice. Very juicy. Continues with similar flavors. I got a burst of the zest on the tongue, but it's really a nice supporting character to the really fruity hops. Yeah, it's super, super orange juicy on the tongue now. And finishes just a little bit tropical and creamy. The mouthfeel isn't super duper duper soft, but it is kind of substantial but airy. Oh yeah, I like that a lot. It's got a good amount of sweetness, but finishes with a nice, slightly pithy orange bite. It gives you the bitterness of a grapefruit, I guess, in the finish. And it's nice and clean, not very dank. There aren't a lot of green notes in it, maybe just a hints of pine around the edges. And I do notice the zest. If you had given this to me and not told me there was any zest in it, I probably may have been able to guess, but it's not distracting or messing with the beer and making me think that I would prefer without the zest. I think it is adding something positive to the beer. Yeah, I like this a lot. Probably do like a 4.25 for this one. This didn't have the highest reviews on Untappd for some reason. I don't know. I'm a pretty big fan of this. I mean, I guess now I'm noticing there is a kind of a minerally, not quite chalkiness to it, but some minerally thing that maybe I'm noticing the added like gypsum flavor to it from the water treatment in combination with all the proteins and polyphenols in there is doing something weird, but yeah, it's a little bit of like a seltzery finish, a little bit. But it doesn't really ruin all the other flavors and everything that comes before it. It just helps to kind of clean it out, but I guess it isn't my favorite flavor to notice, but that's something that comes up in a lot of these hazy IPAs. There's often going to be some weird thing in the finish or some weird mouthfeel. but it doesn't ruin this beer. I guess yeah, close to 4.25 is what I would give this one. But it's pretty nice. I highly recommend getting a can of this because I don't know when it's going to be back in the area. But it's very nice. Probably one of my favorite like citrus zest IPAs I've had in a while. All right, bye.